So to cap off or round out Energy Month, we're going to take a look at some of the polls that I've put on the community tab over here. So be sure to, of course, subscribe so that you can see those and come back and check for other videos. And of course, if you would like to support the channel, you absolutely can by going to my merch website. So this is the merch website. It's hosted via Bonfire. I've got a couple of things from JSDF month up still, and then of course my logo. But I will be trying to add some new designs here and there, maybe one a month or one every few months. So be sure to keep an eye out for that. But the link for this is on my channel, so you can go ahead and go over there if you like any of these designs. Feel free to purchase them, and when they arrive, send me a picture. Either, I guess, Twitter or X is the best way to do it now. But my Twitter is also on here and on my YouTube page. So in terms of polls, I went a little bit more into it this month. I was kind of trying something to see how this would work. And I'm also a little sick, so my voice sounds a little weird, that's why. But yeah, so I thought these were really, really interesting. So I started out the Energy Month polls with Energy Month starts tomorrow, so I want to keep some of the basketball stuff aside. Going, tomorrow's video is looking at EVs in relation to the energy sector. Do you think EVs are good or bad? And out of the 5 votes, most of you were in favor of EVs, which is pretty interesting, especially how that video went. Then you have renewable energies, and that video, they come up. I want to do a survey. Does your state or country allow you to opt in to getting energy from renewable sources? And once again, out of the 5, most of you had that option, which was pretty cool. That's the way it's done, at least here in Texas, is you can opt in, you pay a little bit more, I think, and then you can get wind or solar energy up to a certain percent. Then I asked, which alternative energy sources do you think is the best cost per output for your region? Of course, nuclear was the big winner here out of the 18 votes. Wind and solar, did fairly respectable. And someone put other, but didn't put what it was in the comments. So sorry if that was you, put it in the comments here. I'm curious to see what your thought process was here. Then, which energy source would you like to see used most in your area, state, country? Also overwhelmingly nuclear, which is a little surprising. I had renewable and non-renewable options, but nuclear was the big one. And I think that is kind of like heartwarming in a way, which is a weird thing to say for an energy source. But people being more open to nuclear, I think, is something that's going to be really beneficial when trying to deal with the challenges of renewable energy moving forward. So very interesting. Nuclear doing pretty good here back to back. Then, would you be okay with paying a slightly higher price for renewable energy if it was offered to you? Most of you, but not like by a huge amount, said yes. And one person even said if it was just like a nominal fee. And I think here in Texas, depending on which provider you have, it's like $10, I think, a month, maybe. I can't remember 100%. But it's a fairly small fee, so interesting. Let me know in the comments below what you would be okay with paying, or what's too crazy for opting into renewable services. And then, as we kind of moved through the month, thinking about EVs again for the upcoming video, which would be the EVs and green energy in military contexts. They got me thinking about alternative fuel sources. Which of these sources do you find most interesting? And hydrogen fuel, which isn't necessarily super new, but there have been some newer revelations with it, or models with it, from Hyundai, Toyota, and Honda, and that's what people were going with. I thought that was really interesting. EVs were right up there with the e-fuels that Porsche is making, and then you have compressed natural gas, which I didn't even know was a thing until I started making this poll. So, really interesting. Compressed natural gas cars do exist, and there are fuel stations, just not very many of them. And then as we got closer into that military EV green energy type video, I wanted to ask what branch of your country's military could use an overhaul in terms of energy power plants. And all 10 of you who voted said the Navy. I don't know if that's the U.S. Navy or where, But that is very interesting to me. I don't know why. So like, if you were one of these people that put here, please explain this to me. It's not a bad thing. I'm just genuinely curious. I don't like. Do you want the ships to not be nuclear? Do you want more nuclear ships? Do subs need to all run on batteries? Like how do you frame this? And of course, I'm putting this in the U.S. context. If it's a different country, let me know. That's also helpful. And the last two here. Tomorrow we're looking at green tech and the military. So the question stands, do you think green tech can work in a military setting? And most of you said yes. And then, of course, the spawning point for this video, I guess. Now that green tech in the military video is up, I have another question for y'all. Would you like to see more of these recaps in the future? And 3 of you said yes, so big shout out to you 3. Here's your video. Get excited. Yeah, that's it. I'm gonna probably try to continue to do more of these. I thought this was really interesting. I wanted a way to highlight these because there were some really interesting errands, like the hydrogen fuel thing in the Navy. Fascinating. Like, I'm really interested in why people picked those. But yeah, let me know in the comments down below what you think about this type of video, and if you'd like to see it continue going forward. And as always, I'll see you guys in the next one.